Hey everybody, Joel Nelson here. I wanted to share how I set up my Yetti and what my 21-foot Yetti Grand Escape looks like. And maybe you guys can use it to get some ideas for storage. For me, it's been a work in progress over several fish houses and taking ideas and neat ways to put things together from other people's houses to incorporate in mine. Maybe you guys can do the same. So we're gonna start actually at the front of the house in the bathroom of all places. When it comes to fishing, believe it or not, I got a ton of stuff in here. So the first thing you're gonna see is actually a big group of rods. And this rod holder is really nice. It's the catch cover rod holder. And in the winter time, this is excellent storage. I pull this down and screw it to my garage wall to store those same ice rods in the summer. And then I've got hooks there. I've got a ton of cabinets, first aid kit, even some extra tackle and things like that go in there. As I turn around and I look at specifically the shower area, it's actually a closet for me. And we've got a hanging shoe rack that actually works really nice to store slippers in, got some Crocs. We use this shower rod actually as a hanging system, which is really nice. And don't forget what's in the bottom of the shower. It's sometimes nice. I've got my slush bucket in here to catch the different hole sleeves and the different parts that have contact with the ice to kind of keep all that stuff contained. So you'll see as a constant theme throughout my house, I have hooks everywhere. So wherever you can make use of hanging storage, it gets everything from hoodies to jackets and towels drying off. It just gets things up and out of the way. So as we continue through, we've got hangers here. I've got smaller screw-in hook hangers there. They're really everywhere. So throughout the house, I've really tried to incorporate that a lot. Hanging spice rack, that actually it's an idea from Brad Hawthorne. Fabulous idea, man. I mean, when you are fishing out of this thing, or even the summer, silverware, knives, sauces, different spices, fire starters, all that stuff comes in really handy. So another thing, trash can. You're gonna generate a ton of trash in here. If you're ice fishing, you're gonna have things that you're gonna need to throw away. So this one is actually a pretty nice trash model with kind of a soft closed lid that's worked out really nice. As you get by the door, I've got hooks that are specifically for my keys. One of the biggest scares any ice angler will ever have with a wheelhouse is, where did I put the keys that power up and down my hydraulics? So if you don't know where that stuff is, you're always gonna be freaking out a little bit. So my Yetti up and down hydraulics keys go there. My truck keys go there. If they stay on the hanger, they're gonna stay out of the holes. That's one of the things I've definitely learned over the years. Hole scoops I like to keep here, but not during transport. The same thing with this ruler, the judge. Anything that has sharp edges that's hard, once you start trailering and moving around, it starts to rub, and you can see I made that mistake. I left a little bit of a rub line there. So I try to take those things off of the walls when I can. If you look up, ceiling rod storage, that's where it's at. As far as I'm concerned, it's the handiest place to put your rods. That's the catch cover rod holder again. Up on the ceiling are really, to me, the answer to keeping everything away from people and keep people from snagging on the hooks. All right, so moving down to this side, as you can see, I've got a pretty interesting digital panel here, and that's really the command center for my house. And it's called the In Command control system module. And with Yetti, it allows me to connect with my phone via app. I can set all of the same things on this control panel for my heating, my cooling, my lights, my bed, my awning, everything exterior and interior is controlled here. But the cool part is it's also controlled here via an app. So what I can do is actually I can turn on my lights and adjust those settings just by clicking on the button. I can turn on and off different features. I can shut them off, turn them back on. But the cool part is once I crawl up into bed, via the cell phone app, I can turn off all of the lights. It really makes management of the entire experience in here that much better. And so that In Command system has proven its use. Another thing I just did here last week, I monitored the temperature in here, and when I was about a half hour from the lake, I was able to turn on my heat, fire this baby up, and then when I was ready to fish with it, the house was already preheated and pre-warmed. So I can do that from my phone anywhere I have an internet connection. So it's been really nice. All right, moving right along. If you look down the line, eventually we're gonna run into a bunch of rattle reels. we're gonna run into a bunch of different fishing products, rod holders, and it all kind of starts with this disc system right here. This wall disc accepts these rattle reels, these Rattlesnake rattle reels, and as a general rule, take the number of holes you have or the number of accessories that you have and you want to plug into them, multiply that number by nearly 2, and that's the number of wall discs you should have. They're really simple, they mount to any wooden surface, and it makes it very easy for you to be able to plug in cup holders, rod holders, rattle reels, and you're really gonna want them in a lot of different places to give yourself options when you set up your house. So as we continue to go around, I'll point out those little places where I've got them. All right, now we come to the sliding storage, and this is where really the lion's share of my ice fishing gear lives. I've got individual totes right here, and each one of them has its own separate kind of gear. It's where I end up storing my rattle reels, my rod holders. I've got tip-ups in there. I've got fishing tackle. I've got I've got knives and reels and all kinds of different things. And really, it's a nice place for me to keep my ice fishing gear separate and organized via these totes, because each one of them holds its own group, and I can remove them at will. When it's time for summer to plug in the summer items, I take these out. They live in my garage, and I plug the summer camping items inside of them. So it's been a really nice way for me to keep all of my stuff separate. Okay, Minnow Bucket. I like to run mine here, mostly because what I can do is if I pull this little aerator right here, it's actually a nice seat. If somebody wants to jig right here, jig any of these holes, you kind of have access out of the way. Plus, the Minnow Bucket is kind of centrally located, so everybody can go grab and dip into it whenever they want. Okay, moving around the house, a tool holder. This Rattle tool holder, it's the deal. You're always reaching for tools in a fish house, and you always want to know where they are. Scissors and forceps for sure. Depth bomb, a screwdriver or two for various things. Always nice to have. You'll see a string swing here. It's actually for a guitar. In the summer, I have the guitar out here quite a bit. We like to play, campfires, all that kind of stuff. So that's a pretty fun place to kind of hide a guitar and keep it out of the way. All right, this is my bed. It drops down to right about here. But the cool part is I can mount rattle reels via these wall discs underneath both sides, and that's really nice. I should have another wall disc here for a cup holder, because anytime you sit down, it's nice to be able to have a place to keep a drink. And the problem with putting it on top of sliding or hinged benches like this is if a drink's on there, you might stand up and clip the edge of it and pop it up and dump your drink on the floor. If it's sitting here on a wall in a cup holder, it's not gonna fall off or fall away. All right, I've got a lot of underside storage right here, and this is where my heavy duty stuff goes. This is where all my fish finders go. I've actually got a folding table, 2 folding chairs, wheel chocks. I've got block leveling systems in here. This is a really cavernous storage area for me, so that's been really nice, and it's even more so the case when I've got all kinds of water hookup equipment and things like that for the summer. Moving around the house, you'll see another wall disc right there. That's a great place to put a rod holder. When I'm dead sticking, this is one of my primary holes, so I'm always ready for it. All right, moving around the house, got a little place to store lures there, a little bit of a magnetic catch board that's nice. If we look, here is another wall disc for a rattle reel. We got a big screen TV. This is where some of the bedding stuff goes. This is a nice place to put electrical cords and different things that you're gonna need outside, because you'll find yourself coming into the Yetti back and forth, and this is really one of the biggest, closest storage areas to what you'll need to grab outside and go around and hook up once you hook up the power in your generator to the Yetti. Big fridge, it's really nice, whether winter or summer. I've got all kinds of stuff in there. The freezer's actually a nice option too. If you look there, I've actually got a little tiny dinette table that's hiding behind the seat. I can fold that down and transport, and it doesn't bang anything up. So that's a really nice place to put that as well. This bed, this bunk, ends up being kind of a junk drawer of sorts for the house. I got all kinds of clothing, usually bedding, pillows. We pull everything off and throw it up here. When my kids are sleeping here and this stuff's not here, they actually have a little catch cover storage shelf up here in the corner. They can put books, they can put cards. There's little USB plugs for phones or any kind of electronics, flashlights. And the greatest part about it is that when it's time to get this stuff out of the way, all I have to do is put those clips up, and literally we're ready for travel, we're ready for transport, and hey, it's up out of the way with a little more access to the light. All right, again, would be great to have another wall disc there. I've got one here for a cup holder. That's really nice. Again, anytime you're next to a couch or people are sitting down, having a wall disc with a drink holder adapter is going to be really nice. And as you can see, I've even got these wall discs up on the ceiling. And again, it's a great place to mount rattle reels. And really, again, if you follow that 1.5 or 2-to-1 ratio of number of wall discs to the number of accessories you want in your house, that's about right for me to have them mounted all over. You barely notice them, they're out of the way, whether it's summer or winter, you're gonna use them. So go ahead and plug them in all over, and I think you'll be pretty happy to have them. So there you have it. That's a tour of my 21-foot Yetti Grand Escape. You saw a bunch of things here, ways that I've kind of individualized my house, but part of the fun is taking it and customizing it to your uses. Whether you're fishing, whether you're camping, whether you're hunting out of the thing, go ahead, enjoy all season use with it, make it your own, and take some of these ideas and have a blast with it.